Is it like going from phase 2 training, being an SUT, a soldier under training, to going to your regiment or your battalion and becoming a phase 3 soldier, or also known as a fully trained soldier? Now, I can tell you my experience, and hopefully by doing so, you will get some sort of insight and some sort of idea into what it can be like. Now, I went into my regiment after a long period of time in phase 2 due to getting into a little bit of bother. And when I turned up on the day, I went down to my BSM's office, my battery sergeant majors, and had a little chat, got told where I was going to be and what I was going to be doing. And then from there, the challenges started. So if you are new to the channel and you're wondering who the hell I am, my name is Kyle. I used to serve in the British Army, did 7 years in total, and I served in the artillery in 7 Archer. And I've got a little bit of experience in helping people like yourself. I used to work in the recruitment sort of sector, helping the military get people in the Army, Navy and the RAF. So for me, it all started in 2018 when I left lovely Larkhill, also known as the School of Artillery, and went to 7 RHA in Colchester, Merville Barracks. Now, on arrival, like I said before, I went to my BSM's office, my battery sergeant major, who is the person that I report to when I get there, and I was told to go down to the gun park where I would meet my SECO, or my gun line section commander. When I met him, I was told different things, bits and bobs, what I was expected to do on a daily basis. And then from there, that is when the challenges started to arise. Being the new guy on the block, as you can imagine, is very, very difficult. You're getting the bruise on all the time. You're getting jokes played on you, which is just a little bit of banter, really. Just got to have a bit of a strong chin. And you're just expected to do all the shitty, naffy jobs. So if you are someone that is due to leave phase 2, or you're thinking ahead and preparing to leave phase 2, then just expect to be doing the shit things, the crappy jobs, the things that no one wants to do on a daily basis, at least until your role is taken as the new guy and someone else fills your space. Now, from there, you're sort of just doing sort of low-level training. As I've stated in my other videos, you don't really learn your job role too much until you get to your unit, so you get to your regiment, your battalion. That's when the sort of learning really starts, because you get given your section commander, your gun commander, depending on what role you're in, it'll be completely different. And that's when you start to learn things, when you start going on exercise, going to live out in the field with your regiment, and you learn from the people that you're going to be working with on a daily basis. And like I said before, you're the new guy, you're expected to be not very good at these things. However, you learn the hard way in a lot of cases, just depending on what the people you have around you are like. For me, it was very difficult joining an airborne unit where passing P company, Pegasus company, was seen as something that you had to do. And obviously when you first join the unit, you haven't passed it, so due to that, you are given even worse jobs and treat a little bit worse than you would if you were already passed and airborne and all that sort of stuff. So it was very difficult. Now, after around about 6 months, when you've settled in, you pass P company, if you go to a unit like mine, then things start to settle down a little bit and you start to become sort of like one of the lads. You get to do a lot more and you get a lot more respect, let's call it. Now, after the sort of initial phases of being at your regiment, settling in, stuff like that, you sort of get used to the daily sort of tasks and the daily sort of routine that you're going to be in. So you know that you're going to be starting at 10:30 on a Monday. You know you're going to have PT Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. You sort of get into it and you start to follow the yearly routine as well. You know when the exercises are coming around on a yearly basis, and you know when you're going to be doing this, that and the other. And it gets quite easy and you sort of follow the motion of the unit that you're in. And also you can start looking at promotions and stuff like that, depending on the unit you go into and depend on your ability, your leadership ability. Then you can start to get promoted. I've seen people climb to the rank of corporal within sort of 2-3 years. And then I've also seen people that are in their military career for about 9 years and they still haven't climbed the ranks to Lance Corporal or Lance Bombardier. So it all depends on the route you want to take, for one, depending on what job role you want to go into. And it also depends on your ability to be a leader within the job role that you are in. Now, for me, I got to the rank of Lance Bombardier in around about 4 years. And then, because I got a promotion band, by the way, and then after that I spent another 2 years in the unit, and I decided to ultimately leave and pursue a career on Civilian Street. Once I did that, whilst I was going through the process, I got led into doing the reservist sort of route and got the opportunity to earn £10,000, which was given to me over a period of 4 years if I joined the reserves. Now, after deciding to do that and going into the reserves, I thought, let's have a little think about this. The reason why I thought that was because of previous things that I've talked about. The pay was not as good as what I thought it was going to be. To get that £10,000, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't a case of you transfer from the regulars to reserves, you get given £10,000. No, you had to go into a role that you were trained in, apparently. I'm not sure how true that was. So I had to join an artillery regiment. Now, there was none close to my house, so I had to travel to go to the unit that I wanted to go to, and I would have had to shave. Now, as you can see, I like to have a beard, and that played a big factor in my decision, believe it or not. And ultimately, after being in the reserves for about a year and attending a few drill nights here and there, I didn't do much, so I can't really slag them off too much and say it's terrible, because I never really got involved as much as I could have. But I ultimately just decided to sack it all off and leave and just pursue a career on Civilian Street. Now, nothing against the reserves, but as I stated in my old video about the sort of pros and cons between the reserves and the regulars, it just wasn't for me. I felt a bit chip shop, and I just really couldn't be bothered with it anymore. I'd rather put the effort into either doing my own personal stuff, like going to the gym, keeping on top of my fitness, doing this YouTube channel, or even just putting it into my family and sort of living my life a little bit, instead of having to spend 2 hours on a drill night on a bloody Wednesday night doing crap stuff that I don't even really care about. So that was my sort of thought process on it, and ultimately just decided to leave and start doing stuff like this. So that was my sort of career in a nutshell, from the moment that I left Larkhill to leaving the reserves in 2018 September. So guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just wanted to give you a sort of brief overview of what a 7-year career can look like, but ultimately it all depends on the role you're going into and your sort of ability and your effort. You could go in this year and be a sergeant within 5 years, but you could also go in this year and not get promoted at all for 9 years. It all depends on the situation. If you did like this video, guys, give it a like and possibly subscribe. I would love to see you on the channel. Get yourself in the comment section if you've got any questions about the military, and I will catch you in the next one.